I apologize for the background noise. Hey y'all, W here. Welcome to my workshop. Um, this time it's not so much about building things as it is a piece of maintenance. You may have seen in some of my other videos on around the channel here that I have this awesome 50's Husqvarna sewing machine. This beautiful thing. I love it and it works very well and I want it to stay that way. So today I'm going to do a bit of maintenance on it. That means just, generally cleaning it up and lubricating it. And I will probably shouting over the 3D printer behind me just sort of narrate this, but honestly, I'm making this up as I go along. It's not like I know what I'm doing here. But on the other hand, this being an old machine, there isn't a lot of electronics and certainly no digital elements to it. It's all just mechanics. And I think I have a fair chance at working with that and performing maintenance on that. There's one little thing, let me just show you here. One little thing that I won't be doing today, but I found out that I can do it. See, this thing, this is a thread guide, this up here, yeah, guides the thread, and one of the screws is missing. It was always missing. I got this machine used and the screw was always missing. The thread guide itself, this one, I 3D printed that because the original one, a metal, little piece of metal up here, actually broke. But the screw was from the original one and the other screw was always missing. So I found out off camera that this is a 3.5 millimeter screw hole, and I think I know a place where I can go find a tiny little 3.5 millimeter flathead. So I'm going to try and do that, but I don't have it for today. Other than that though, it's just going to be, yeah, it's going to be a clean and maintenance, lubrication, that sort of thing. I have a few implements over here, some tools from there, or some tools that come with the machine. I have, I got it with the entire, that's the tool set, oops, that comes with it. I have a little flashlight because I'm probably going to have to see inside it. Really cool little sort of pen light deal here. I have some air. Now this is just, this looks very, professional, but this is just hooked up to my airbrush compressor. So it doesn't have a lot of power, but it can't give continuous high pressure air, but it can do a little blast like that. So that's going to help me, I'm sure. And also I have the original manual, which also came with the machine. So if I need to see, there's like a diagram of the whole machine. There's a bunch of drawings in here. So I think I'm just going to dig in and have a look at this. Now, first of all, I think I need to have some light over here maybe. Yeah, that's better, I think. And obviously, some of it is just, it just gets dusty everywhere because when you sew, it just throws off dust. So there's like a little, you can see it here. That was just, on the outside of the thing. So I'm just gonna get into all of these sort of nooks on the outside and do like that. But I actually think I'm going to do that last because I think I need to get inside. There are some places that open, and there are also some places that I need to unscrew. I think I should get the bobbin out of there. Oops, yeah, like that. Oh my God! And there's a really bad one there. There's even dust inside this bobbin holder here. And even though this is kind of interesting, let's see if I can show you here. Even though this is just a cap for the bobbin, even that is actually quite mechanical. As you can see, there's not just one, there's actually two tiny little screws here. And that has to do with the thread tension. But and there's another kind of screw in here. Everything about a sewing machine is mechanical, and you can see there's a sort of a little groove in there where there's also dust. There's basically just dust everywhere, and I'm trying to get it out. Now, do I think this has any particular bearing on the quality of my sewing? No. No, probably not. I don't think it has anything to do with that. But I am almost 100% sure. Good Lord, there's a lot of dust in here. I feel fairly certain that it has a bearing on the lifetime of the machine. That you get dust out of it and some lubrication into it every once in a while. See, this is why I'm doing the outside last. See that? See all that dust down there? I'm gonna be bringing dust from the inside to the outside. I'm sure of that. So if I clean the outside first, I'm just gonna have to do it again. That a blast of air. Oops. It's in there. There you go. As you can maybe see, there's a lot of screws on a machine like this. I will most certainly not unscrew most of them, because this is a sophisticated piece of mechanics, and I could probably very easily ruin it by unscrewing the wrong screw and then not knowing how to reassemble some complex piece of mechanics that fell apart. But it's really everywhere. Like here's the foot, I guess. I don't know what that's called in English. The foot for let's just get the needle out of the way. I mean, actually, let's just remove the needle. Like that. Yeah. Get this foot out. Again, considering that it's just a presser down to presser foot or whatever, still pretty mechanical in nature. Yep. Let's see if I can. Like that. That's lovely. Now, obviously, this thing comes out all this way. Probably I should put it down like that, so that I can clean it. Yeah, much better, much better. Now I checked the manual before I turned on the cameras, and one thing that it said to do, something that you can in fact unscrew, is this thing. Again, I don't know the part name, but this plate, that's basically the primary sort of surface that the machine is actually sewing on. Everything else is just like holding up the fabric, but this is where the sewing happens. And the manual says, when you do your cleaning and maintenance, do unscrew this. And then this comes off. Not that much dust. But this is a little bit greasy actually. That's probably, I mean, there are, we'll get to the lubrication later, but there's definitely oil inside this thing. And it's sort of, it might just spread a little to some of the dust that gets collected, and that's why it sticks. Check this out. See how much dust is in there. This is actually, holy, Holy moly. This is basically, it's basically like a lump of felt down here. I definitely think that I need to give it a blast of air, but I have to physically and mechanically get some of this stuff loose. That's how tight it is. It was just like dust was squeezed in here over time. Just give it a blast here. Oh my God, look at that. I can see a wad of dust in here. Holy, it's like there's a small mammal that is living in here. See that? Look at that. Now that is a piece of dust. That's what that is. And I'm not done. See? I'm gonna get some more air. Let's see if I can reach in there with a pair of tweezers. Get some of that. There we go. See? Another big catch right there. Now you may be wondering why I'm reassembling this. I was just talking about lubrication, and you may be wondering why I'm putting it back together without oiling it. See, you don't lubricate a machine like this by putting oil on the moving parts. You can see all over it, like here and there and there. There are these little ports. There's even one back here on the heel there. These are lubrication ports. So you actually use those. You put oil into those and only there, because if you put oil in a bunch of other places, it might, you might get it on your workpiece when you're sewing. You don't want that. Right. So that was sort of getting into the front. Now I'm going to get, or to this front, but this side, I guess, the front, the working side. And now I'm going to get into this end here. And that is truly fascinating. Maybe I should just like, so that you can see it here. Look at that. Now that is a mechanism. This is where a lot of the magic happens. Isn't it beautiful? I love stuff like that. So let's see, and it's not actually, this bit isn't really that dusty. Now this opens, so this, I'm allowed to open it and fidget around in here, and that's, among other things, it's because there's a screw right here, a finger screw, which is for tensioning. But it's actually, it's not that dusty in here. It's not too bad. Just gonna get the worst of it. The worst of it. I'm gonna get all of it if I can, but there just isn't that much. So just do that. There's a little bit of dust on this sort of little ledge here. There we go. Boom. And then the other side, because there is another little secret trapdoor. Yay! Actually, this is fascinating. I want to show you that while I'm at it. This one opens also for cleaning and maintenance, but also for, like this one, for an adjustment purpose. There's adjustment purpose for this door as well, and it's this. This thing comes out. This controls the stitch pattern. It has these like 5 layers, and they're actually gears governing the stitching patterns. And not only does this do that, but the reason why there's a port in this sewing machine so that I can get in there is that it comes with more of these. So there's actually another 2 sets of stitching sprockets, or whatever you want to call them. It's basically, this is mechanical programmers. So they program the kind of stitching that the machine can do with these little gear things on this, and I can switch them out. behind this port. Just pull this down, and then I put in another gear, or programming block, I guess. That's amazing. I love stuff like that. Another thing that's kind of cool, as you can see in here, see that? This is a belt drive. It's basically, you could call it a toothed belt. It's probably what you would use, the kind of tooth belt that are in our 3D printers today. That's probably what you'd find in a sewing machine today if it has a belt. This is an old-timey kind. There's a belt with these sort of metal buckles around it or something. I don't know what you call it, but it's pretty amazing. Again, not that dusty in here. It's actually okay. Actually, something did get in there. See if I can get it out. How about that catch, huh? I gotta tell you, the paint job on this thing, it's like a luxury car. It's amazing. There we go. So nothing more in there. And like I said, I'm not taking any more of these screws out. So I think that's actually it for the inside. And I think I'm going to clean it on the outside now, like I said. And I'm just gonna make sure that I get into these nooks and crannies. And there are moving parts on, basically all but one of these knobs have moving parts. This one has a little sort of brake or little mechanism on top here. This one has a button in the middle, and this one, actually I should probably show you that. I don't know if you can see this. There are 5 numbers here corresponding to the 5 layers on these programming blocks that I showed you before. So to switch between these 5 options on the programming block, there's a little moving bit here. So that changes the stitching. And while this also changes the stitching. It's an amazing piece of mechanics. I'm pretty in awe. I think you can tell. Anyway, getting into all of those nooks and crannies. And I mean, like if this was almost any other kind of machine or electronic or like an amplifier or even a stove or a coffee maker or something like that, whatever, I'd usually just pull the knobs off and then, to clean inside. I'm not gonna do it on this thing. I don't dare to. It's just too complex mechanically. I'm afraid I'll screw it up. Like that. Oops. I think that's it for the cleaning, which is obviously a very simple operation, but I still wanted to show you just as much because I wanted to just show off this machine and share my fascination with the mechanical insights. Now, finally, lubrication. So I'm just going to get, this is sewing machine oil, and I'm going to just put a few drops of it inside each of these lubrication ports, like that. Get that. Get that a few drops right there. And there we are. That's it. That was basically all there was to it today. This little lovely box with room for, and there's a lot of accessories here too. I would tell you what they are, but I don't know because I'm not that good at using this machine yet. Yeah, but like I said, that's basically it. That's all there is to it. So I hope the next time you guys meet this machine on this channel, it's because I'm making something awesome with it or something terrible. The machine is awesome. That's it for this time. Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you next time. Bye.